Israel would describe its invasion of Lebanon as a calculated risk designed to head off worse trouble in the future. But even the Israelis would admit that no matter how good their intelligence, they can never really be sure of the next move of some of the Arab hardliners. First and foremost among them, Libya's Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. Gaddafi has been described on occasion as the world's most dangerous man. That's because of all the Middle East leaders, he's seen as most prone to resort to war and terrorism. What then does he say about the current crisis? We happened to be in Libya at the time the Israelis made their surprise attack against Yasser Arafat's PLO forces in Lebanon. It was clear that Colonel Gaddafi expected us to carry news of his reaction to the outside world. Colonel, you've been described as many things. A terrorist, as a butcher, I think, as a gangster, and as a madman. Why are you described in all those ways?
At the beginning, it is Zionist propaganda against me because I support firmly and strongly and permanently the Palestinian resistance.
Right now, he's obsessed with the Lebanon. His call for an Arab summit has been largely ignored. So where does that leave Gaddafi, who sees himself as the one leader who can unite the Arab world against Israel? Is it possible that the PLO will be wiped out in Lebanon by the time there is an Arab summit?
No. No, it is not possible. It is not easy for Israeli troops to do this, or any other force.
Do you view this situation as critical? Is the PLO itself in Lebanon in a critical position?
I don't think so.
How is that?
Because they are steadfasting and the casualties is not heavy, but it is the position now is against the Israeli troops.
Yes, so you think that the balance of power is in favor of the PLO at the moment and not in favor of the Israelis?
Yes, of course.
The longer the war continues, the more it is in the interests of the Palestinians.
For many years, Gaddafi has been an ardent supporter of the Palestinians in Lebanon. But now, in spite of offering Libyan troops to fight there, he's pessimistic about a long-term solution.
It is too late. We did our best to solve this problem for 1 or 2 years ago. But now it is difficult to speak about any solution. We must concentrate our forces to achieve immediate withdrawal of Israeli troops from all the territories of Lebanon.
It is said that the Israelis were able to strike at this time with some success because the Arab world itself was in great conflict.
Yes, it is true.
Yet in all your attempts to achieve Arab unity, you failed.
I failed on the official level with the governments. But the struggle for the Arab unity and for the revolution, I didn't fail. We will succeed.
Is the Ayatollah Khomeini the leader closest in thinking to you?
Anyhow, we are against reaction, against Zionism, against colonization, against USA. Both of us are supporting the cause of freedom, the Palestinian cause, and it is enough to be together.
We are saying revolution until victory, not until death.
And what of PLO leader Yasser Arafat? What would Gaddafi's advice to him be now?
To resign.
Why?
because he failed to unify the Palestinian fronts and failed also to protect the existence of Palestinians in Lebanon. And he couldn't solve the problems between his people and Lebanon as a state.
And yet Yasser Arafat might say to you today, I didn't get any help from anyone. For instance, if he said today, how many troops will Colonel Gaddafi send me? How many troops would you send me?
It is not a matter of troops. No.
Do you think Yasser Arafat might think that it's a matter of troops?
Yes, it is not a matter of troops. It is a matter of policy.
Will policy help him to get out of the condition that he's in and the PLO is in now? They are banked into a corner of West Beirut.
No.
Yes.
No, the policy and the force, both of them are necessary.
Would you be prepared to help with the force?
We are ready if he wants.
If Yasser Arafat said to you, now, we need Libyan forces, how many troops would you send in?
We can send as more as he wants, but it depends on the political circumstance in the area. We must consider Syria and Lebanon. It is not easy to be there.
Can you give me an idea of what sorts of numbers of men you might send?
As I told, as more as he wants.
How much does that mean? 10,000, 20,000, 30,000?
You can't say now.
It is impossible to say.
We can't speak about numbers now, but we speak about a principle.
About a principle?
Yes.
He likes to call himself the leader of the revolution, and this is just the sort of attention that Gaddafi relishes. While he may not have an image problem here at home in Libya, in the West, Gaddafi is seen as the world's #1 terrorist. But here at this Tripoli conference against Zionism, imperialism and racism, that image is seen as a plus. For Gaddafi, there's only one option if the Americans move back into the Gulf of Sirte.
To be very serious, not for Libya and America, for the peace in the Mediterranean and the peace, the international peace as a whole.
What would be your reaction, Libya's reaction, if the Americans did move back?
The war, of course.
There would be war?
Yes.
Between Libya and the United States?
Yes, of course.
Would you expect the support of your Arab brothers if that war happened?
Our brothers and our friends. When we fight against the superpower, of course another superpower will be involved in this dispute.
Wouldn't be sorry to see Gaddafi fall, would you?
Well, I would think that diplomacy would have me not answer that question.
How would you regard Ronald Reagan?
He's not qualified to be president for this superpower, and he's ignorant. But recently, gradually, he taught himself, and he understands now the international policy, and he's better than first.
You think that Ronald Reagan is improving as a president?
Yes, he's improving himself.
As we said, we happened to be in Libya at the time of the Israeli invasion of Lebanon, and there was no doubt that Colonel Gaddafi saw our presence as a chance to announce his position to the outside world. But we did talk about a lot more, and we'll bring you that story in a later program.